I'm Brian Skanderbeg. I'm the CEO and was amongst the founding group that put GFG together 3 years ago. I'm going to talk to you about two main assets, one in Wyoming and one in Timmins, and what we have planned for this year and where our balance sheet looks and really why to be excited about GFG. As a cautionary statement, I am an explorationist, a geologist, and an optimist. So a little background on GFG. We have a great board. We have a great management team, and this is largely the GFG Resources group. We put these assets together sequentially over the last 3 years and currently control about 800 square kilometers in Timmins and in Wyoming. And we like these belts. We like their endowment. We like their opportunity. And we like their permittability. We're looking for Tier 1 systems, and we're being aggressive while we're doing it. And we are fully funded to execute on our business plan. Just to get the numbers out of the about 132 million shares out, market cap would be around 30 million. And as Gwen alluded to off the front, cash is really key to being and creating value these days. We are well funded with $7.5 million in the bank. That is on the back of a financing we completed in April, where we brought in Gold as a 9.9% shareholder and raised $6 million. Note, we did that at a premium to market without a warrant, and that reflects the sharp change in our share price graph where we announced the very relevant discovery in Timmins. We have strong institutional backers surrounding Alamos, a number of Swiss investors and resource-based funds. Insiders still control a very large chunk of this and are certainly leveraged and aligned with shareholders. The split on the graph, as I said, over here would be our major discovery announced in Timmins last month. Touching base, we are a group of individuals that have been involved in a lot of success. We sold Claude to SSR as a company, groups of founders of Integra and Lakeshore Gold and Elgin and Orezone. Our board and our executive are very seasoned at finding mines, financing them, bringing them forward, and we are not scared of transactions at all. To touch base on our first asset and where our dollar is going at present is in Timmins. And I like to look at this map as it's about 120 million ounces. And like Red Lake, Timmins has a long history of gold production. And in this map, you see a number of major present: Newmont, Pan American, Alamos, and IAMGOLD. This is the reason we went here. It is a large endowment gold belt. We acquired these properties 2 years ago through 4 transactions, and we control the Penn Gold Project and the Dory Gold Project, combined 700 square kilometers. Note, the Porcupine Dester would come across through Timmins, through the Pan American assets. We would model it extending across our property and hitting the Kapuskasing break. Down here out is Borden. And Borden's a very successful mine being brought to full production by Newmont these days. We border Borden, Newmont, and we border IAMGOLD's Côté land position. Our discovery that we've announced is at the Nib target, which is in the central portion of the Penn Gold Project. In a little more detail here, this is the Penn Gold Project, and a couple of things to locate yourself. If you looked off the map 20 kilometers to your right, that's Timmins. We've got a highway going across the block. Off our left, we've got about 30 kilometers down here, and we go over out to Borden. We are surrounded by infrastructure. We have an entire greenstone belt of about 60 kilometers that we control. This is a vast land position. You can see the entire Timmins camp in here multiple times. So we put this land position together in 2015, and we have subsequently announced very high-grade intercepts and new discoveries, most recently at Nib, where we released 70 grams over 8 meters from 50 meters depth in a new target. We published a number of economic hits from the HDM target area, and I'm also going to touch base on Slate Rock. This is a very well-endowed belt. It is a direct extension of Timmins, and we control it in its entirety and are announcing very high-grade results. Speaking of Nib, and this is really that sharp change in our share price graph you saw a few weeks back. And this is a cross-section through our discovery. And let me just flip to a pencil here, and I can draw on a little bit better. We initially drilled this target in 2018, and we liked the system. We turned relatively low-grade drill results here, but they hosted gold. And we were very encouraged by what we saw with these intercepts. And we came back here in 2020, and we drilled just simply underneath them. We liked the system. Let's see what goes to depth. And we hit a new vein system, 70 meters, 70 grams over 8 meters from 50 meters depth. There's a very high-grade component to that. We subsequently drilled multiple other vein systems down the hole that also host high-grade gold, visible gold, and very interesting-looking systems. In detail, the highest grade section of this interval was about 3.5 meters, and it graded 190 grams. And to that was a 500-gram intercept. So that's the highest grade component here, 3 meters at 190 grams. If you took the whole envelope, it was 8 meters at 70 grams. And the mineralization went off the page to the top, still about 1 gram. It's extensively sulfidized. As a geologist and explorationist, I like the set. Your core axis angles are steep. Most of the gold is in the wall rock to these veins, and it is tied to sulfide, pyrrhotite, or phenopyrite. To me, that tells you you've got good wall rock interaction, good settings. Most importantly, we're at 50 meters depth. There's no drilling underneath us, and there's very limited drilling along strike from us. This is a discovery in 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers of Timmins at a very shallow depth. We will be drilling underneath this in the coming quarter, and I think the probability of us outlining very significant intercepts in continuity to this system is quite high. That's one of our targets. We have assays pending on 6 other holes that we drilled in Q1. One of those is at the HGM area, where we have 3 holes pending. We were drilling down plunge on a chute here. These are high prospectivity holes. They were drilled about 100 meter centers on 100 meter step outs underneath intercepts. We expect to publish these results in the coming weeks to month, and we are only at about 250 meters depth in testing this target, and it is along the Porcupine-Destor Fault Zone. We have a number of other targets present here. We also have assays pending from slate rock, and as a reference, rock is actually 20 kilometers away from the Nib discovery and 40 kilometers from HGM. We have 3 holes pending here off the ice we completed last year, and we expect to put those out in the coming month. If you looked at some of our earlier stage targets, Boundary is a great example. This is a 4-kilometer corridor we outlined, 3-kilometer corridor we outlined with 7 new discoveries last year, greater than 1 gram. We peaked at 7 grams. There's not a single drill hole on this target. We will be drilling it this year. So GFG has high-grade hits, targets and assays that are pending, and a suite of targets that are behind those. Overall, we're going to spend almost $4 million in Timmins this year, and we doubled that budget based on the results we published in April. That combined is about 12,000 meters of drilling. If it's a red target on this map, it's going to see meterage. You can see we're going to test about 10 different targets across this belt, focused in the Nib area. Meterage also at Slate Rock and HGM. We are going to continue testing this belt in a very aggressive manner, and I think that provides us a lot of catalysts, and we're well-financed to do it. And there is no doubt that is why Alamos is an investor in GFG. That was half the story. I'm going to quickly go through the other half of the story down in Rattlesnake Hills. We are in central Wyoming now. We have 135 square kilometers down here, and we have about 100,000 meters in the ground. This is an alkaline gold district we acquired in 2015, and we see direct analogies to Wharf and Cripple mines, and it is a very interesting opportunity and a very leveraged asset. There's no shortage of high-grade hits in Rattlesnake. This is 135 square kilometers here, and it is an entirely gold belt. Historic hits of up to 60 grams over 10 meters, propelled evolving gold to almost a 200 million market cap. There are a large number of broad, low-grade hits starting at surface, and there are a number of targets that still to this day don't have drilling in them. Newcrest was our partner for the last 18 months. They were very focused on drilling a bulk tonnage target at depth beneath North, tested that target, and they returned the project. We did not drill a single target other than that one with Newcrest, and we are very keen to find the right path for this asset, and we've announced a strategic review of the asset. And I think it's a great gold environment to look for right partners on projects like this. There's definitely scope to grow the system. That's a kilometer in scale with a number of shallow oxide type hits that can be grown and expanded. The yellow stars are holes drilled by GFG, and the last hole was almost 100 meters at a gram from 40 meters depth in oxide. The system can be grown. It's a target-rich environment. The belt is under control, and it's in Wyoming. So overall with GFG, we control 2 district-scale assets. We've got the technical team to advance them, the ability to finance, and the balance sheet to provide us with the ability to go out there and be aggressive. We put in the ground. We've already announced a material discovery at NIB, and I believe we're going to continue to announce more, and we have a catalyst-rich 2020 ahead of us. So with that, I thank you very much for listening to the story and turn it back to Gwen.